From Ozzie Guillen's suspension for using Twitter during a game, to Trevor Bauer facing sexual assault allegations. Here are the longest suspensions in Major League Baseball history. Kicking off with the Chicago White Sox manager Ozzie Guillen, who was suspended for 2 games back in 2011. Ozzie was found arguing with umpire Todd Teishner about balls and strikes in the first inning of the Chicago Cubs versus New York Yankees game. He then went to Twitter to complain about his ejection, claiming that it was pathetic and would cost him a fine. While the fine amount wasn't disclosed by the league, Ozzie was banned from 2 White Sox home games against the Baltimore Orioles. Who knew using electronics on the field would count as a violation? If you think this is bizarre, wait until you find out what Max Scherzer got suspended for. Earlier this year, Mets ace Max Scherzer faced a 10-game ban after umpires suspected a sticky substance on his hand during inspection. He initially pleaded his case but was eventually ejected from the game against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Max accepted the league's decision on May 1st, saying he would not appeal it. The player was also fined for violating prohibitions on foreign substances. Fun fact, the umpires caught up with his trick when he came out to pitch in the 4th inning. Reports stated that his pitching hand during the 4th inning was stickier than before. This is just the gist of the crazy things that happen on the baseball field. In 2020, former Los Angeles Dodgers reliever Joe Kelly sparked a benches clearing incident, which earned him an 8-game suspension. Kelly got into a verbal exchange with Carlos Correa, taunting and reportedly making a pouty face at the Houston Astros shortstop on his way to the dugout. Joe was initially suspended for 8 games, but had it reduced to 5 after appealing the decision, making him available for the season finale. This wasn't the first time Kelly was suspended for such misconduct. Back in 2018, playing for the Boston Red Sox against New York Yankees, Joe served a 6-game suspension for plunking and then fighting Tyler Austin. It looks like the player has some anger issues that went unchecked. When it comes to MLB suspensions, a string of bans keeps popping up. Ever since the league adopted their joint domestic violence, sexual abuse, and child abuse policy in 2015, many players have been suspended as a result of DV allegations. Starting off with the most recent one, the New York Yankees pitcher Jimmy Cordero was charged with SA allegations, earning himself an effective immediate suspension. While the specifics of Cordero's violation found during the investigative process have not been disclosed at this time, MLB banned him for the remainder of the 2023 season, making it a total of a 76-game suspension. The ban also includes any postseason games or potential payoffs the Yankees have. The right-handed reliever appeared in 31 games this season, pitching 32.3 innings with an ERA of 3.86 and 34 strikeouts. The Yankees released a statement saying that there is no justification for domestic violence and that the team stands by the objectives and enforcement of MLB's DV policy. According to the league, Jimmy accepted the punishment levied against him and has been placed on the Yankees' restricted list, which means he would be serving the suspension without pay. The league also announced that Jimmy will be participating in a confidential and comprehensive evaluation program, which will be overseen by the Joint Policy Board. The 76-game ban is the 8th longest, making Cordero the 3rd Yankee to be suspended under the policy. Aroldis Chapman was the first, with 30 banned games in 2016. In 2016, Hector Olivera, who played outfielder for the Atlanta Braves, was met with an 82-game ban. This was for assaulting a woman at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Arlington, Virginia, while the Braves were in town for a series against the Washington Nationals. The victim reported the assault to the police, who later confirmed that she had acquired bruises and transported her to a hospital. Major League Baseball imposed an unpaid suspension on Olivera on account of a violation of their policy. The player was arrested on April 1, 2016, while the suspension retroactively dated back to April 30, 2016, and ran through August 1, 2016. Another Yankees player was suspended for 81 games after facing domestic violence allegations in 2020. Domingo German was involved in a DA incident with his girlfriend, where he became physically violent after getting drunk. The league reported that German accepted the unpaid suspension and wouldn't appeal the decision. The right-handed Yankee was held out of 18 games during the investigation held by MLB in 2019 and was declared ineligible to play in the first 63 games of the season. His team released a statement declaring their support for the league's disciplinary action against the alleged player. The Yankees further added that they hope German's acceptance of his misconduct will enable a positive change in his character. Domingo was met with another 10-game suspension in 2023 after he was ejected from his start against the Toronto Blue Jays. The player raised suspicion after throwing 3 perfect innings. When it came to the 4th, the umpiring crew examined his hands for tackiness. MLB declared that the player violated their policies on the possession of performance-enhancing drugs, announcing that German will not appeal the decision. James Hoy, the crew chief, reported that Domingo's hands were the stickiest he'd ever felt. Although facing a ban for only 1, Domingo was involved in 2 grip-enhancing substance controversies in that season. Topping the 82-game ban is San Diego Padres reliever Jose Torres. Torres was suspended for 100 games in 2018 when charged with accounts of assault with a deadly weapon, damaging property, and misdemeanor with the woman he shared a home with at that time. The MLB commissioner, Rob Manfred, announced his suspension for the rest of the 2018 season. Jose had not pitched that season and was put on the league's restricted list before spring training even began. While the penalty retroactively dates to June 5, 2018, the player agreed not to appeal. The outfielder also complied with MLB's requirement to partake in an evaluation and treatment program. According to a statement released by the San Diego Padres, the team sided with the commissioner's decision to suspend Jose Torres. The Padres further added that they will continue to support MLB's efforts to educate players and prevent such incidents from occurring in the future. Although a free agent at the time, Sam Dyson was suspended for the entire 2021 season, earning himself a total of 162 games ban. On March 5, 2021, Major League Baseball barred the pitcher from playing for violating their off-the-field personal conduct policy after looking into allegations of abuse made by his ex-girlfriend, Alexis Blackburn. In 2019, Alexis filed a civil lawsuit against Sam Dyson, accusing him of physical violence, battery, and intentional infliction of emotional distress on various occasions. Blackburn first came forward with the allegations via 2 social media posts. She later provided The Athletic with photos showing bruises on her arms caused by Dyson. She also claimed that the player harmed her cat. Sources reported that multiple women came forward during the league's investigation into Dyson's allegations. The baseball commissioner, Rob Manfred, released a statement confirming Dyson's misconduct. MLB further added that, consistent with the terms of their DV policy, Dyson will be participating in a treatment program supervised by the board. Before facing suspension, the free agent pitcher last played in 2019 for San Francisco and Minnesota. Taking the lead with the longest suspension is the Los Angeles Dodgers' Trevor Bauer, with a 2-year, 324-game penalty. Trevor faced an unpaid 2-season ban when accused of assault by 2 women, one in Ohio and one in California. According to a Sports Illustrated report, Bauer had been in a 3-year relationship with the victim in Ohio. A police report filed in 2017 contained evidence of multiple bruises on the woman's body. She claimed that during consensual intercourse, Trevor engaged in non-consensual violent acts. While the player denied the claims, the woman ordered a temporary restraining order in 2020, which she later lifted to avoid threats. After concluding their investigation in late April 2022, the MLB imposed their 324-game ban on Trevor, making it officially the longest non-life suspension in the league's 8-year history of joint domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse policies. Thanks to the efforts of a neutral arbitrator, the 2-year ban was reduced to 194 games, out of which 144 games were in 2022 and an additional 50 games in 2023. The player signed a deal with the Yokohama Dina Baystars in the Japanese Central League and is set to pitch professionally in 2023. More players who breached MLB's DV policy include Jeurys Familia with 15 games in March 2017, Addison Russell with 40 games in September 2018, and Roberto Osuna with 75 games in June 2018, amongst several others. So there you have it. From Trevor Bauer's 324-game suspension to Ozzie Guillen getting banned from 2 White Sox games. These were the longest penalties faced by MLB players.